and they have to recant it. Alright? And that's how far we'll go now to Amendment number 8. Excessive bail shall not be required, nor excessive fines imposed, nor cruel and unusual punishment inflicted. Bail means bails, fines, and punishment must fit all the crime, and punishments must be designed for cruelty. I have to really question and criticize what happened in Baltimore, Maryland. It happened on July 1st, 2002, when Boston's finest axed door this one home. It was the Wheeler household. And I'm not, crazy about some of their views because they were, quote unquote, involved with the National Alliance. There was a big report, even in the mainstream news as well, on it. They axed down the door and they detained a woman that was living there with a sealed warrant. Okay? They chained her up, handcuffed her on her bed. And it was funny. She would really get me. She was a 72-year-old woman who had great grandchildren. So when they were looking for the suspect, Lava Wheeler, they investigated. They took all his firearms away, including gunpowder in barrels, supposedly. But there was a claim that it was contained improperly. When they arrested Lava Wheeler at his job, in the court proceedings, in the bail hearing, the judge gave him a $2 million bail for 2 misdemeanor counts. That is absolutely abhorrent. Regardless if you support these individuals' beliefs, that's Mr. and Mrs. Wheeler, it is dead wrong. And those bastards up there, they need to be locked up, as far as I'm concerned, because that is definitely an 8th Amendment violation. In addition, waterboarding, okay? When you have former Vice President Dick Cheney supported it, he even looked it up, even talked about it on some talk shows. I believe it was David Letterman. Yeah, David Letterman. Talk about waterboarding is good to fight terrorism, and Michelle Bachmann said the same thing. You know what? I want them to demonstrate how waterboarding is really good to fight terrorism. They should take the initiative on doing it themselves, and let's see if they can handle it. Okay? Alright, we'll just go a little further now to Amendment number 9, which said, the enumeration in the Constitution of certain rights shall not be construed to deny or disparage others retained by the people. It means you have more rights than are specifically listed in the Bill of Rights. This one here is fantastic because even if certain rights are violated from like the first 7 or 8, add the 9th Amendment on there as well because you own your body, your soul, and your mind. In addition, it's great when you're a juror because you are the most powerful person in the courtroom and no one can change your mind or conscience. If you believe if you're a juror of a criminal trial and you know it was implemented poorly, you have the power to say not guilty because the fact is this, the judge is the only administrator, the mediator, and the attorneys, because you got a lot of them out there, are like vampires. Not all, but Green Mountain are vampires, and all they want is brownie points. They don't really give a damn about how the justice system, or for the supposedly innocent people, they want to make themselves look good for personal gain. So you know what? Jury nullification is guaranteed under this amendment, which is the 9th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. Alright, now we're going to hit the 10th Amendment. And it says, the power not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited to the states, are reserved to states respectively or to the people. U.S. federal government, that means the U.S. federal government has only those specific powers granted by the Constitution. All other powers belong either to the states or to individuals. Alright? Anything the federal government passes, which is not honored by the Constitution, the states can nullify it. The war on terror, the war on drugs. You've been hearing stuff about medical marijuana or legalizing marijuana in particular states. It is still in the works. In addition, the USA Patriot Act. You can look this up on the Bill of Rights Defense Committee at bordc.org and look up with the Patriot Act. So far, 8 states and 400 municipalities, whether it's city or county within the United States of America, has dishonored the USA Patriot Act and Domestic Security Act. You'd be surprised what you can do. Because if the federal government says it's legal, you can laugh at them. Because if it's unconstitutional, your state or local communities can nullify it. You know what I'm saying? And another good example, too, was the Brady Act. And I want to talk about the Brady Act, the 5-day waiting period. But they don't tell you the fine print. There was an incident that Sheriff Mack and Prince filed a lawsuit against the United States government on the Brady law. Because it was language in there pertaining that the states have to fully operate it with their own money. And it was proven in court, especially under Federalist Papers 46, what James Madison wrote. I'm paraphrasing this too, that the federal government cannot encroach on the state's jurisdiction. So the fact is, the Brady Law violated the 10th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. The late Judge Roe honored it by saying it's illegal. The United States government tried to bring it to the Supreme Court, and they lost. That was during the Clinton administration. So if everyone thinks Bill Clinton was a great president, do your homework, especially with the Brady Law. He thought it was a great thing. It was a total sham. And I say that in respect. And what was great about this is the message can be sent. In addition, our Constitutional Republic has a 3 voting system. You can vote in the polls, you can vote in the grand jury, and you can vote in a jury trial. So they can have the laws in the books, and you can say, no, the hell with them. Alright, go a little further. The final statement. The 9th and 10th Amendments taken together mean that the federal government has the only authority granted to it, while the people are presumed to have any right or power not specifically forbidden to them. The Bill of Rights as a whole is dedicated to describe certain key rights of the people that the government is categorically forbidden to remove, abridge, or infringe. The Bill of Rights clearly places the people in charge of their own lives and the government within strict limits. The very opposite of the situation we have allowed to develop today. The document is right there. It's self-explanatory. And each individual who is a citizen, especially a registered voter, have the duty to honor this. And I recommend too, everyone around the country should know your state constitution as well. Especially look up Declaration of Rights, and some state constitutions have Bill of Rights. Use that also. Intellectual ammunition is good, and it can drive your fellow elected servants crazy. When more people do it, the better it is. And if you want to preserve freedom or revive it, start from the bottom, because you cannot rely on Washington because there's such a cluster. You can't plant an old tree that's going to die the next day. You got to plant the seeds of freedom and liberty and let it sprout and spread throughout this republic and beyond. And that's how I look at things in the world, and that's how I see it. So all I gotta say, this Sunday is Bill of Rights Day. Please celebrate this by sending this to your family, your friends, your loved ones, acquaintances, comrades, and enemies if desired. and never use it out of malice, but with love and good faith. If anyone believes that we don't need the Bill of Rights because the government can take care of them, here's my reply. Right. And to all the yahoos up in Washington, D.C., this is their attributes. You know what I mean. Well, that's how I look at the world, my friend. So keep on spreading the truth. This is my first podcast, and I thank everyone for listening. And as I always say yes to freedom, no to tyranny, and death to the New World Order by spreading the message of love. All right, this is Craig signing off. Play this little tune. Take care. Spread the message, especially the show, and positive blessings to everyone.
Thank you.